Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's. Welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap a seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell out now. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
No More Black Tears podcast. We back in here. You know what I'm saying? It all happened in a week. Verkeezy.
So this week in sports, you know, Rose, you always say the NFL is king. And even though it was just a schedule release, it took over the internet. So what was some of your favorite schedule releases from the NFL teams? And was there any that you just thought sucked?
Yeah, my favorite one was Atlanta. Atlanta, when they did the kind of like the office kind of thing. That was my favorite one. I like the Raiders with the Step Brothers. My second favorite one was Chargers and Halo. Like I told you when we did the video game episode, yeah, me and my partner J Bro the Scientist was the first people with, you know what I'm saying, with the Xbox, and we had the Halo. So yeah, that was top. You know what I'm saying. And I also liked Tennessee with the Lookalike, and Miami with Rick Ross, because Rick Ross been popping up everywhere. So, you know what I'm saying, he's trying to promote. I think he's doing a book or something.
I think he got an album coming out too, he said.
Yeah, and he got an album coming out. So he's promoting his book and his album. He popping up everywhere. So that one was tight. So as far as ones I didn't like, it was a couple ones that I didn't like, but now I'm gonna let you go and talk about your favorites, and then we'll go back to that.
Cool. I mean, for me, man, I thought the Jets was whack. I know we talked before the pod. You thought it was straight. And I thought it was whack because the Bears kind of did it better, where the Bears actually had Roman Duze, dressed as Bob Ross the painter. And on the little portrait he was painting, he said, let's have some birds here. And he painted some, eagles and some falcons to let them know, this is what we playing. Like, maybe we can, I messed up on this bird. But, let's just turn it into a jet to show that they're facing the Jets. That was like a good way of doing it. At the bottom, he said, let's draw some cats. So he drew a jag and a panther. So it was very unique how they did it. And it was very interesting. And I liked it. But the Jets was just whack. They just literally had a nigga just dab 3 pieces of paint and then just draw a line and then show you the team. Which when you look at the way the Bears did it, then you'd be like, that shit probably wasn't all that, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I know one I remember, I forgot to write it down, but Jacksonville, that was whack.
Man, they had us watch this white boy get a haircut.
That was whack. And we already seen him with his haircut. And
yeah.
So that, like it was nothing new.
Now, it probably been fire if they would have kept it under wraps.
Exactly. But,
like, come on, y'all made us watch this. Now, like I said, if you a Jacksonville fan, maybe you thought it was fire because you worship the ground that Trevor walked on. But man, I'm a nigga from Augusta, Georgia. You think I give a fuck about a white boy getting his hair cut? Another one I thought was lame was the Cardinals, but the Cardinals always hoe out, bro. They had some shit where they made some kind of cartoon where all the different, people on their schedule was like some kind of in the chat room in the different conferences or whatever. And there was like a chat to the side, but the chat was going so fast you couldn't even really read it and keep up with it. Yeah, the Cardinals always kind of hoe out on their schedule release. That's why they're a terrible franchise and they always ass. But some of the best ones, the Chargers, man. Like you said, the Chargers don't ever miss. And then the Chargers, what makes the Chargers so good is they be clowning on niggas. They be clowning on niggas, man. Like they throwing little like stuff that happens in the offseason or last season. Like they did the shit where Tyreek Hill basically got in trouble last year in their schedule release, and then the league basically had to say, man, hey, I gotta chill out on some of this shit. In fact, the league actually, the league actually said, "Yo, we're not gonna tell y'all not to talk about the what's the nigga in New England?
Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rousey situation, but we're gonna just tell y'all use your best judgment." Man, I wish some teams would have said something about it, but the Chargers, yeah, they always be clowning people when they schedule release, and it just be fine. Like to do the Halo and actually have all the different characters was dope. The Browns with the Street Fighter, I thought was like really, really dope. Like, like they had the little white boy that was introducing it was kind of lame. But to actually I always like the schedule releases where as I'm watching the video, Rose, they're showing who they're gonna play. Mm. And then and a lot of times, like sometimes they may have the elements of where the game might be at, especially if it's like overseas, for example. Mm. Like I always think that's dope. And then lastly, I thought the Bengals was cool. I thought the Bengals was cool because it was pretty much just a hype package for the team, the way the Bengals did it. And they had an announcer talking, and they was showing, like, I guess, different games the Bengals have played over the years against people on this current schedule. And it was funny because they was like, yeah, we got divisional rivalry. And it showed them, like, it showed Max Crosby. And then right when it said division rivalry, it went to the Ravens and Lamar and said, you can't back out of this.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I like that, bro. I like that, hinting at the whole backing out of the trade. So, yeah, the schedule release is good, man. But, I'm going to tell you the most interesting part about the schedule release. You had the Giants do a schedule release with Jameis Winston, and I guess they was in Paris when they did the schedule release. And they was giving out free tickets because they got a game in Paris. So talking about the Giants in Paris, we have 7 countries that we're going to have NFL games in this year, and across 4 different continents: Germany, Australia, Spain, Brazil, UK, France, Mexico. The Falcons are going to be in Madrid. What are your thoughts on this many international games this season?
I don't have a problem with it, but I had a problem with it because they took one of our home games and put it in Madrid. So that's
against a good team too.
That's one less game the fans can go see.
Yes.
So I have a problem with that. If you go, I don't like that. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only 17 games. We only get 8 home games.
Yeah, I think what they should do is, like, the teams that would have a 9th home game, that 9th home game should be the overseas game.
Yeah, so now there are only 7 games in Atlanta. So that makes the ticket prices pretty much go up.
We got 10 road games.
Yeah, so it's like I don't have a problem with it. I kind of it's spreading the football world, but don't take one of my home games away.
Yeah, I think this just shows how fast the NFL is growing, because back in the day, they didn't really have overseas games like that. And I remember when they first started doing it just in Germany. But now we got games in Brazil, games in Madrid, games in Paris, games in the UK, man. Like, it's really expanding. And then when you think about that Nigerian player that was drafted by the Eagles, the NFL is starting to become a world game, and flag football is a part of that. So I ain't gonna lie, it's some of these. I don't like the Falcons' perspective of it, but I do like watching some of the games that be overseas and watching some of the atmospheres. Because was it last year or the year before where the Eagles and Packers played in Brazil? Like, that game to open the season, remember it opened on a Friday, if you remember. That was a game Jordan Love got injured. The atmosphere in that Brazil arena was just different than some of the other games. So I kind of like that aspect of it. We got a whole bunch of primetime games. We got a Thanksgiving Eve game for the first time ever. Was there any, and I don't know if you had a chance to look at the schedule, was there any primetime game that you just saw and was like, that's good? I like, you ready for that game?
The Eagles and the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Eagles and Cowboys.
That's the only one that because I didn't look at all the prime times, but I did hear about that one. So that one, that's gonna be one of the ones people waiting on Thanksgiving, because usually, we have some good games on Thanksgiving lately. We have been, but you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be one of them games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was only 2 for me. The Super Bowl rematch, Sunday Night Football, Pats versus Seahawks. And I don't know, maybe I'm just different. I always love seeing the Super Bowl rematch. Always, especially early in the year. I'd rather see the Super Bowl rematch early in the season because the teams aren't too far removed from the Super Bowl compared to like middle of the season or end of the season. Like, I kind of want to see how have the Patriots thought about that Super Bowl loss all summer and how they going to combat that Seahawks defense because they couldn't do nothing in the Super Bowl. Because if Drake May looks good that game, then maybe he's taking that next step. But if the Seahawks pick up where they left off at, then the Seahawks might be on their way to repeating again. And another primetime game was another Sunday Night Football, and it was just because it was a Falcons game. And when I saw this, I was like, man, them tickets might be expensive, man, but I kind of want to go to that game. When the Ravens come to Atlanta.
Oh, that's a Sunday night football game?
That's a Sunday Night Football game.
Oh, that's why the ticket was so high. I already looked at because I was planning on going to that game, but I know so they put it on Sunday Night Football.
Man. That's prime time, okay. Man. So it was like, and I would love to go to that, but to your point, the tickets is you always confirmed they're gonna be high. I was thinking to myself, man, them tickets is not gonna be cheap because it's prime time and we got Lamar coming to town. But to be able to watch Lamar play against the home team would be good because he's such an electrifying player.
Yeah, I plan on going to that game, but I didn't know it was on. I didn't know it was on prime time, and plus it's the day after Juice Man's birthday, so I know I was probably gonna go with Susie Q because her cousin is going to that game too. Me and her cousin I already talked about it. I said the Ravens coming to Atlanta this year because she a big Ravens fan too. So I said so you need to talk to your cousin. Let you know what I'm saying, tell her to get right because I'm trying to be there too, so she can hang out with you. You know what I'm saying?
So before we move off the schedule, man, we got to talk about the most important part about the schedule. The reason why the schedule release is so important to a lot of fan bases, you get to see who you're going to play, when you're going to play them, is it home and away? We saw the Patriots have the weakest strength of schedule, Rose, that we've seen in the last 25 years, and they rolled that to the Super Bowl. And then you get a team like the Chiefs last year who had one of the hardest strength of schedules and missed the playoffs. Are there any teams who you look at their strength of schedule and be like they might fall back because of how hard their schedule is? And are there any teams whose schedule is so soft that you like, they could potentially make the playoffs and maybe even make some noise in the playoffs because their schedule is just that weak?
Atlanta, but the thing about it is they're going off last year's.
Yeah.
And then think about like we played some tough teams this year, but just because some of those teams didn't do so hot last year, they're trying to make it seem like we got one of the easiest schedules, which we don't.
True, because the Bengals they was bad last year, but you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins,
the Chiefs,
Chase Brown. The Chiefs was terrible last year, but Pat Mahomes will come back. They picked up Kenneth Walker.
The Ravens,
that was another team that was mediocre last year. But Lamar should be healthy. Derrick Henry coming back. Zay Flowers.
Yeah, so it's like some of those teams, but I think Houston probably got a good chance of doing something because they made the playoffs last year. They got that defense. If CJ Stroud cut his hair, so
they got a weak schedule.
Yeah, they're
I ain't gonna lie, because that would be scary. Because typically, if you got a weak schedule. We saw this with the Patriots. When you have a weak schedule, typically that means the quarterbacks ain't that good. And with a defense like the Texas defense, if you're facing some mediocre quarterbacks, they in fantasy. Pick up the Texas defense.
Yeah. So, and then I think the Cowboys will probably make a little bit of noise this year too.
And I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand the Cowboys, but the moves they made in the draft and looking at their schedule, I can't see how they don't make the playoffs this year, even if it's just in a wild card.
And the Ravens, I think they got to come back strong now because if they don't, because this is all on Lamar.
Yeah,
that's the messed up thing about it. But he's a 2-time MVP. You know what I'm saying?
Should be 3-time.
Should be 3. So it's like you can't say it's too much pressure on you, but it's gonna be a lot of pressure on this year. New coach. New everything.
New offensive scheme.
So
and
no excuses.
This is truly your
team.
Now.
This is your team.
Yeah, this is ain't
you in the driver's seat. You driving the bus.
Yeah, you definitely driving the bus now.
So it's like, dog, I hate that so much pressure on him, but he should be able to handle it.
I think he can handle it.
He should be able to handle
Because
it.
whenever he's had a full healthy season, the Ravens have always not just made the playoffs, but been a number 1, number 2 seed in the AFC. So, like, when he's healthy, he wins. It just comes down to, can Lamar stay healthy this year?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And also, it's going to come down to the playoffs. So, I'm pretty sure they're going to make the playoffs this year. But then we come to the playoffs, he has to show up. He has to take that next step. Because there ain't no more excuses.
Yeah, I'm going to say this right here. I'm looking at strength of schedule. The Lions could have a breakout year. They could have a 14-2 season, 14-3 season possibly. Because they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got the 6th easiest schedule. And they was a good team last year. It's just they had some heartbreak losses. But then I look at some of these teams that got terrible schedules. And I just want to say this. We gonna draft for Arch Manning. Or Dante Moore. It's gonna be the Dolphins or Cardinals, bro. Because the second and third hardest schedules in the league belong to the Dolphins and Cardinals. Yeah, one of them teams gonna get the number 1 pick, dog. One of them teams gonna get the number 1 pick, and it's not even gonna be close because, bro, they got a hard schedule, and them teams gonna be tanking, bro. So, I can't wait for the NFL season. But sticking with the NFL, man, Devin Achane, speaking of the Dolphins, just became, the 3rd highest paid running back per year, making $16 million a year. Do you think this was worth it?
No. He ain't been healthy his whole career. And y'all broke the bank on him? Like last year, he was banged up some last year, but he still played a lot of the games, but he was still banged up, and he's a smaller back. And then you don't have a quarterback. So he's going to be the offense. What's going to happen to him this year?
He's going to get hurt.
He's going to get hurt.
He's going to get hurt. I ain't going to lie, man. I'm not... I know somebody going to pick him in fantasy early, man, but I'll be scared to touch him.
Yeah, because he's the offense, so they go give him the ball, and somebody go ring his bell. And I hope that doesn't happen, but I
ain't wishing that on him, but
yeah. He's
had a history of being injured. Like last year was probably the first year where he pretty much stayed healthy all year.
Mm-hmm. So hey, but kudos to them. You know what I'm saying?
But shout out to him, money, man.
Yeah.
I just thought it was crazy because it's like, damn, bro, that nigga not even top 5 to me. And I actually made a list. Like, Devin Achane or Saquon Barkley?
Saquon.
Devin Achane or Christian McCaffrey?
C-Mac.
Devin Achane or Jonathan Taylor?
JT.
Devin Achane or Jamar Gibbs?
Give me Gibbs.
Devin Achane or Bijan Robinson?
Give me Bijan.
Devin Achane and that's 5 now. Devin Achane or Derrick Henry?
Oof. Give me Henry. Give me Henry.
That's the closest one. Oof. And that's only because of age at that point.
Yes.
But it's like, so you not top 6. And then I got 2 names that I feel like it's debatable. Devin Achane and Josh Jacobs.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's another tough one.
Yeah, and because Josh Jacobs has been productive.
That's another tough one.
Devin Achane or James Cook?
Oh, yeah, that's another tough one. Nah.
And you could argue Devin Achane is probably more talented than both of them. But both James Cook and Josh Jacobs, the last 2 seasons, have been productive and healthy for the most part.
Yeah.
So if at best he's the 7th best running back in the league, but he's possibly the 9th best.
Yeah.
Possibly. And you made him the 3rd highest paid running back on a team that's not going nowhere. It's a reason why some of these franchises are always picking at the top of the draft, Rose, because they do dumb shit like this.
Yeah.
So talking about picking at the top of the draft, teams that would not be picking at the top of the draft is these teams that's left in the NBA playoffs. We down to our final few teams, man. What's your thought on what's been going on in the playoffs since the last time we talked about it?
James Harden and Mitchell got lucky.
Lucky?
They got lucky.
Lucky?
They went on a 9-0 run. Detroit, man, what's going on? What up, though? What's up with that? Man, they should be going home tonight. But
I tried to tell you, Mitchell score, man. He get buckets. This man dropped 39 in the second half. You was like, he don't score enough.
no, I didn't say he didn't score enough. I said he don't make other players better. I said all he do is score.
Hey man, 39 points in the second half made them niggas better.
Yeah, but yeah, man, and they still should have lost the game.
Nah, they shouldn't have lost that game.
Yeah,
now the game last night, the game the other night.
That's the game I'm talking about.
No, that was game. I'm talking about game 3 where he scored 39 in the second half. But the game the other night, when James scored 30, they probably should have lost that game because of that foul call.
Yeah, well, if they was gonna give him free throws, I don't know if they was. I guess they was probably in the bonus.
No, they was in the bonus. That's why. That's why some people claim they didn't call it because refs don't want to call a foul in that moment away from the basket.
They do it all the time, though.
You know,
it just depends on who it was. Now, if it would have been Cooper Flag, you know what I'm saying, or
Luka Doncic,
LeBron,
if it would have been SJ, they would have called a flagrant. They would have gave them 2 free throws and the ball.
Yeah, but since it was Thompson, they was like, "Oh man, who is this nigga?
Yeah, who is this nigga? He only one of the best defensive players in the game, but okay, cool.
Yeah, he's not gonna make the free throws anyway.
Yeah, he ain't gonna make it anyway. Shit, shut up, pussy asshole. Let's go to overtime.
Yeah, that makes it more worse to give him the free throws to give him a chance to.
I know. He could have made one of them, and then we could have probably saw what their Cavs could have did with 1.3 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
So they had a chance for a catch and shoot, quick catch and shoot. Man, Wemby just came back with a vengeance, bro. Wemby just showing that he different, man. He different, man. This nigga Wemby, man, even though it was only 27, I think 15 rebounds and 6 assists and 3 blocks, man, bro, like that nigga had 18 in the first quarter.
Man, I text you, I was like, man, Minnesota, y'all some hoes, man. Because ain't no way you let him elbow that dude in the throat and then y'all let him come out there and score 18 points in the first quarter.
Well, he came at them.
And I was like, because if it would have been me, what I would have did, I said, and I should have said, who's this guy coming off the bench? He's starting this guy. He didn't play all year.
It sound like,
oh yeah, he's about to get this. He's about to get this business.
In 2005, that's how they play basketball. They don't play like that no more in 2026.
He about to get this work.
That sound like, who's that nigga on that nail?
That's exactly what it would have been. Man, but Wemby just dominated, man. And I ain't gonna lie, man. Like tonight, I just predicted they're gonna close the T-Wolves out, man. Because when Wemby has decided to play, the T-Wolves have not had an answer for him, man. He is showing that he is the best player in the series. He's showing that he's probably the best player in the league right now, and that this is his league, and everyone else is just in it at this moment, man. Like that's how good Wemby has been. As far as Detroit and Cleveland, I think Detroit will win tonight because they have to, but I do see this series still going 7 games, and it has been the most competitive series so far. But before we move on, and from the playoffs, let's talk about the teams that are not playing right now, Rose. Let's talk about the Lakers that got swept. What do you think about them getting swept, and what do you see in their future for next season?
They had no choice to get swept. They had 35 on the bench.
What do you mean they had no choice to get swept?
They didn't have a chance.
They had a chance like game 4.
Man, they didn't have a chance, man.
They was up like 7 or 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and they still lost by 10.
Oh, damn.
And they still lost by 10. Like, come on, man.
They got Bronny James.
Yeah, but he was on the bench.
He was on the bench. Oh, damn. They should have had him in the game. They probably would have won.
No, man. No, man. Like, man, they had 30. They was missing 35 points. But even if with them 35 points, they probably could have got maybe one game.
That nigga
maybe
home.
Maybe 1.5 games. But no, man. And I'm trying to figure out, like, they about to re-sign Austin Reeves, but it's like
that's a mistake.
But they shouldn't.
Yeah, he hasn't showed me. He showed me why he doesn't deserve to get paid. You don't play defense, and all you can do is score, and you're not a great enough scorer when the Lakers need you the most.
Yeah, so it's like, dog. So it's like, how the 2 best players on the team is neither one of them black. I don't know how else to put it.
How they let these crackers be the 2 best players on the team?
Expect to win a championship?
Because to be
Expect to win a championship?
honest, even at 41, LeBron is still the best player on the team. Even at 41.
No.
You know, yeah, man, I thought it was crazy they got swept, man, and I don't want LeBron to come back, bro. I want LeBron to go somewhere else and be able to compete and win in his last year or two and left in the league because he still play at a high level, man. So, yeah, I thought it was crazy, though, man, because LeBron seemed like the only nigga that was trying all series. It seemed like the rest of them niggas on the Lakers was some hoes.
Marcus Smart was trying. He was balling.
All right, don't do my boy like that.
Marcus Smart?
Yeah. Marcus Smart was balling.
Shit, nigga. He tried to play. Yeah, man, but some of Rui points came from LeBron, helping him, man. LeBron was on. It seemed like LeBron was getting jumped out there, man.
Yeah.
Them young niggas was beating. Well, not young niggas. Them young gentlemen was ganging up on LeBron, bro. And
the biggest dude on the floor was the softest guy on the floor.
Yeah, AN, bro. This nigga was getting pumped by goddamn Chet, dog. Let that white boy take your heart, bro. Yeah, but moving on to the other two teams that's not playing. Hey man, how impressed are you with the Knicks and OKC, man? Like, do you see them not making the finals?
The way both of them are playing, they're on a. See, I don't see nobody stopping the Knicks the way the Knicks are playing right now.
Yeah, they got some of them. I think they got the most consecutive blowout point games in history. I think it was like 3 or 4 they had before they had that closeout game against the Sixers and OKC. They 8-0,
but they about to face their nemesis. That the people that they couldn't beat all year,
the Spurs.
So both of them young, but OKC got their experience, but both of them still young. Like Shea, they were trying to get Wemby. They were trying to get Wemby your MVP. So is he going to come and take it?
I think you meant that the other way around. They Shay, they finna give you Wemby MVP.
They were trying to get Wemby your MVP. It was Shay. So what's he gonna do? You gonna let him come in there and take it? I can't wait.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready for that series, man. And whoever went out of Detroit and Cleveland, man, I don't think they got a chance against the Knicks. The Knicks is rolling, they're cooking. Cat's playing well, Jalen's playing well, man. The Knicks just seem inevitable, bro. It seemed like it's going to be the Knicks in the finals from the East, and I ain't gonna lie, man. God have mercy on the soul of New York City, bro. Because, man, if New York make the finals, Rose, I don't know if they're going to still have a city, bro, the next day, bro.
It's about if they win.
If they win, may God have soul on the United States of America.
They'll still be a city if they make it. But now if they win, they gonna burn it down.
Yeah. That man gonna be like, I just got the job.
They said that's what happened when you make you open up a trans. What position he opened up? He's got a whole new department, a trans department.
Hey, speaking of trans, man, Jason Collins passed away this week from brain cancer. He was the first openly gay athlete to actually be active and play. Because I remember when I was in college in 2013, he came out on Sports Illustrated. I'll say this. At the moment, it just seems so heavy in the moment. Like in 2013, and it's so crazy that a 10-year span changes everything. In 2013, him coming out gay seemed like such a big deal, and it seemed like everything froze in time, even though he was barely a player in the league. They say he was active, but let's be honest, Rose. If you remember, he was basically like the 9th or 10th man on the bench. He barely was playing like that. But it was still a big deal when he announced that he was gay. And since then, we've seen like Carl Nassib, the defensive end from the Raiders and Bucks, be an openly gay player in the league. We saw Michael Sam. You and me talked about him. He was in Missouri, had a great career in Missouri, became the first openly gay player to get drafted in the NFL. It kind of did open the door to some of this stuff. But I believe what Charles Chuck said, man, like, I've been felt like we got gay niggas in the league, bro. But, it still was, a big deal at the time it happened.
Yeah. So he died from brain cancer?
Yeah, he had a tumor.
Wow. So he was giving Negroes too much head? Too much brain. Oh man, that's messed up. He must have that super head.
Hey man, hey, who knows, man. You gotta call his husband.
His husband, no.
Yeah, you gotta call his husband. Maybe we can get that nigga on the No More Black Tears Pod. He can break it down further for us.
Yeah, because we all we don't know who was doing the bending.
If he was doing the bending, he a very tall individual. He had a long way to bend. A long way to bend. Unfortunately, I got to mention another person who died this week, Brandon Clarke. Apparently, people are saying he probably died of an overdose. He got, arrested for drug possession not so long ago. When he passed away, in his house, they found a whole bunch of drug paraphernalia. There was no detail what type of drugs it was. Also, I'm sad that he passed away too. Just from the simple fact, man, only 29, still had at least a couple more years in the league. And you would just, I ain't gonna lie, Rose, it's just, we saw the thing with Rich Homie Quan and some of these other people in the industry these last couple of years, and we have the history of athletes like Len Bias and others dying of drug overdoses in the NBA from decades ago. You would just think, man, you know better, you would do better. Like you just wouldn't think that someone like this would subject themselves to a situation like that. So it's unfortunate, especially when you get a young man like that who made it to the league, changed his family's life. He probably has kids. Nobody talked about that. I don't know, but it's most of the niggas in the NBA got kids by the time he's they're 29. So that's sad, there, because he probably got kids to leave him behind.
Yeah, man. I remember I used to always pick him up in fantasy, and he was always a productive player for me, just a bench player, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 10.2 points per game, 5.5 rebounds his whole career.
Yeah, so he played in Memphis pretty much his whole career. It's sad, you know what I'm saying, from my hometown, you know what I'm saying, Memphis, Tennessee. But it's sad, like, man, leave that dope alone, man. Leave that dope. It's not cool to do dope. Just say no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just say no.
Yeah, man. It's other stuff you can do besides do the dope, man. And lastly, man, another person who passed away, but he lived a full fucking life. Bobby Cox, the manager of the Braves, man, some of his accolades, 2-time World Series champ. He was the first base coach of the Yankees when he won in 77 in the World Series. And he was the manager of the Braves when the Braves had that amazing team in the 90s, the manager for the 95 Braves, 4-time manager of the year, Hall of Famer, man. And it's so crazy. I'm going to always remember Bobby Cox, one, as just probably the greatest manager the Braves ever, not the greatest manager the Braves ever had, because he was the manager when the Braves was the most successful. And he didn't stop managing the Braves till like 2010. So I actually got to see a good part of his career growing up. And what the thing I remember the most about him is, even as an old man, he used to get into it with the ump so much. And I was like, man, I wonder how many times he got ejected in his career. So I looked it up. He got ejected 162 times in his career, Rose. 158 in the regular season, 4 in the postseason. That's a record. And that's how I'm gonna remember Bobby. I'm gonna remember Bobby as that white man didn't take no shit.
Yeah. And I remember I was at the Atlanta Braves affiliate, one of their minor teams, the Augusta Green Jackets last Saturday, and they did a moment of silence for him. And I was like, okay, I was drinking my beer for him, like, oh yeah, he passed away. And at the time, I was just like, oh, they must do this every game, because I thought he had been done died. I said, oh, they must do this every game for him. Okay, I said, okay. I thought he had been done died. Then later on that night, I realized, oh, he died today. He died today. I said, oh, makes more sense now.
That's what rich white people do. When they make enough money, they get old enough, they go away quietly, and you just think they die.
Yeah.
They're not like niggas.
I thought he was already dead. I had him already in the grave. But yeah, so it was like, oh, that's why they had a moment of silence for him. Oh, he just died today. But the game was good. They won in the ninth inning on a walk-off. So that was even better, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Augusta Green Jackets. Shout out to Bobby Cox and the Atlanta Braves. Man, and didn't make it so good. We got to finish the job. We got the best record in the league. In the whole league, not just the American League or the National League, in the whole league. We got to finish the job, Braves. Do it for Bobby. You know what I'm saying? Do it for Bobby.
Yeah, that should be the mantra of the rest of the season for the Braves, man. Do it for Bobby, man. One of the greatest, Braves ever, and definitely the greatest Braves manager of all time, man. What's your final thoughts?
No final thoughts. I was gonna talk about the Augusta Green Jackets for my final thoughts, but then I already put it in there, man. And I know you talked about it on one of your final thoughts the other day, but yeah, man. I went to the game weekend after you, man. We got to go back to another one, man. It's nice, man. It's nice.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, y'all know I'm a wrestling fan, and Backlash was a week ago, man, and we probably saw the end of Asuka's WWE career, maybe her wrestling career, period. And I just want to say she has been one of the faces of the women's revolution in wrestling. Women's wrestling wasn't taken seriously when I was growing up. Over the last 10 years, the women have main evented a lot of pay-per-views. We've seen Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair main event at WrestleMania. We saw Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair main event WrestleMania 2. Like, the women have came center stage and made a lot of firsts in history these last 10 years, and Asuka has been part of that. She's also been instrumental in bringing the Asian community back into pro wrestling. One of the best female wrestlers now is Io Sky, who had an amazing WrestleMania match with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, not this past WrestleMania, but last year when she retained her title. And she's definitely top 5 in the world right now. So, shout out to Asuka, man. And she just, opened up doors for a lot of women in professional wrestling, especially the Asian community. Shout out to the Mamba.
Gotta. Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.